So, um, if somebody is growing up in Antarctica and they want to be a color painter, we might imagine that it's very hard for them to get good at color. Everything they look at is just a field of white, right? Now, we could beat up my metaphor by saying, well, there's so many gradations in the white, that's actually become so great. But just simply speaking, going to be hard to develop an eye for color and color gradations and stuff if you don't have that experience. If you ride your bike 40 miles every morning in your cellar on a, what do you call it, a fixed, what's it called? Stationary bike. You are going to get good at like the range of motion and the strength and the focus and the endurance and nutrition and stuff, but you're not going to get really good at watching out for gophers and potholes and traffic signals and other bikers and the sun in your eyes, kind of a thing. Um, and so I would say that there's an argument to be made for learning in consistent, uh, stable conditions, right? Like air conditioning, a nice carpeted floor, or controlled lighting, or indoors, let's just say. But ultimately, the art is not going to be practiced there, although it might be learned there. So we could see a pretty good argument for learning the art in such conditions. But the practice in the real world is going to be different, right? So, if you're learning massage therapy, there's a lot of book learning, as with any kind of medical thing. But the real world conditions are different, right? Because there's people involved and they're messy, right? Or the credit card didn't swipe and their insurance changed yesterday, but it doesn't update till midnight. Well, that wasn't really, like things are messier, right? So you might want to learn it in the controlled conditions, but the practice of it is almost necessarily going to be in uncontrolled conditions, such as we were talking about on level ground or sticks on the thing, or oh, there's a spider, or I'm distracted by the planes at the nearby airport, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's important for us to embrace both, but also recognize that each have pros and cons. The control conditions don't challenge me to develop as fine-tuned adjustments and awarenesses, tingent senses about what's going on, right? So here we are practicing, let's say, barefoot outdoors, uneven ground after it's rained, and there's sticks or stones or spiders, whatever it might be. There's a whole lot more for you to practice your awareness and adjustments to than if I had just recently swept the floor and it's a nice level floor, like floors tend to be. Um, on the other hand, to learn those things with that nice controlled conditions or relatively controlled conditions is a pretty good pro. That's really nice to be able to do, but it has some cons, such as I don't develop this sort of fine tuning in my senses or the practice of the multitudinous adjustments to different stimuli and data in the environment. Okay.